There is one daily habit that quietly separates the rich from everyone else. A habit so deceptively simple that most people overlook it, underestimate it, or dismiss it entirely because it doesn't feel dramatic enough to change their life. But this habit is the root system beneath every wealthy individual, the invisible force that shapes their decisions, multiplies their opportunities, and compounds their advantage year after year. It's not waking up early, not reading 10 books a month, not meditating for hours, not having more discipline than the average person, not hustling more aggressively, not writing down goals every morning. Those things matter, but they are symptoms, not the cause. The one daily habit that separates the rich from everyone else is their ability to think proactively instead of reactively every single day. They don't start their day responding to the world, they start their day designing it. They take control of their mind before the world can steal it. They take control of their time before distractions invade it. They take control of their direction before circumstances dictate it. And that single habit changes everything. Most people wake up and immediately enter reaction mode. Their thoughts are dictated by stress, by notifications, by the anxiety of the day, by the tasks piling up, by the demands of others, by whatever problem happens to show up first. They open their phone and instantly drown their mental clarity under a flood of external noise. Messages, alerts, emails, social media, news, chaos. Their mind becomes a battlefield they never chose. They start their day behind, already overwhelmed, already pulled in every direction except forward. And because they start the day reacting, they spend the entire day reacting. They never regain control. They never recover direction. They never steer their life with intention. They live every day the same way, responding, adjusting, coping, avoiding, managing, surviving, but never designing, never leading, never choosing deliberately. And that reactive pattern compounds into a reactive life. Rich people start their day completely differently. Their first actions have nothing to do with urgency and everything to do with clarity. Before the world pulls at their attention, before obligations flood their mind, before chaos tries to claim their day, they devote the first moments of their life to thinking, structured, intentional, strategic thinking. They ask themselves specific questions. What matters today? What will move my future forward? What must I protect my time from? What opportunities are emerging? What should I eliminate? What should I double down on? What challenges can I solve with preparation instead of pressure? They treat their mind like a powerful machine that must be calibrated every morning. They don't give the world access to their attention before they decide how their attention will be used. And because of that, they start the day in control, and they stay in control. This proactive thinking habit shows up everywhere. It shapes how they use time, how they plan projects, how they speak, how they evaluate risk, how they analyze opportunity, how they build relationships, how they invest, how they protect themselves from distractions, and how they manage their emotions. When something goes wrong, they don't react impulsively. They pause, analyze, adapt. When something goes right, they don't get lost in excitement. They examine how to build on it. When a challenge appears, they don't panic, they anticipate, strategize, and prepare. They approach life as a chessboard while most people approach it as whack-a-mole, and that difference creates a compounding advantage that becomes impossible to ignore over the course of years. Poor and middle-class individuals rarely allocate time to proactive thinking because they see no immediate payoff. They assume thinking is not productive unless it results in instant action. They believe the only valuable activity is something urgent, tangible, or visible. They undervalue clarity because clarity doesn't feel productive in the moment, but clarity is the foundation of all productivity. Without proactive thinking, people drift through their days without purpose, without direction, without strategy, without intention. They set vague goals but never break them into actionable steps. They react to every problem instead of preventing it. They chase opportunities without evaluating them. They get overwhelmed easily because they're improvising constantly. They mismanage time and money because they haven't trained their mind to lead their life. They let life lead them. Rich people know that thinking is where wealth begins. They know that the right thought at the right time is worth more than months of unfocused effort. They know that a single strategic decision can save years of wasted time. They know that clarity multiplies action, magnifies results, and reduces wasted energy. They know that a calm mind makes sharper decisions, sees patterns others miss, anticipates problems before they appear, and identifies opportunities long before the average person even notices them. Proactive thinking is the habit that fuels every other habit they have. It is the mental infrastructure behind discipline, focus, consistency, resilience, confidence, and execution. Let's go deeper. Poor people start their day with consumption. Rich people start their day with creation. Poor people begin with noise. Rich people begin with silence. Poor people begin with reaction. Rich people begin with direction. Poor people wake up inside a mental storm created by the world. Rich people wake up inside a mental space they create for themselves. This space allows them to think strategically, to visualize outcomes, to assess priorities, to choose deliberately, to remove distractions, and to decide who they want to be before the world pressures them into being someone else. Another critical difference: proactive thinking allows the wealthy to control their emotional state. Most people spend their entire day reacting emotionally: frustration, anxiety, overwhelm, impatience, irritation, self-doubt. Their emotions dictate their decisions. They send messages they regret, make purchases they didn't need, avoid tasks that scare them, and procrastinate on their goals. Wealthy individuals use proactive thinking to stabilize their emotional foundation. They decide how they want to feel before the day influences them. They understand that emotional clarity is a financial advantage. A calm mind sees clearly. A stable mind decides powerfully. A focused mind creates results consistently. This single daily habit also shapes how wealthy people use their environment. Poor people let their environment control their mind. Messy rooms, chaotic mornings, constant noise, reactive routines, rushed schedules. Rich people design environments that support proactive thinking: stillness, structure, space, order, intentional routines, mental breathing room. They optimize the first hour of their day because they know the first hour determines the next 10. They know that if they win their thoughts, they win their actions. If they win their actions, they win their week. If they win their week, they win their year. And if they win their year, they win their life. Proactive thinking also allows wealthy people to see opportunities before they become obvious. Most people only recognize opportunities when they're already crowded, saturated, or too late. They arrive when everyone else arrives, which means they gain nothing special. But the wealthy spot opportunities early because they think ahead. They examine trends, patterns, behaviors, technology shifts, market movements, psychological insights. They analyze unmet needs and emerging demands. They look for problems that are about to expose themselves. Their mind is trained to observe deeply instead of react superficially. This daily habit also strengthens one of the most powerful financial skills in existence: prioritization. Poor people fill their day with low-value tasks because those tasks scream the loudest. Rich people use proactive thinking to identify high-value tasks that shape their future silently. Poor people chase urgency. Rich people chase impact. Poor people feel productive because they're busy. Rich people feel productive because they're effective. Proactive thinking separates movement from progress. Ultimately, proactive thinking gives the wealthy something life-changing: control. Control over their time. Control over their energy. Control over their attention. Control over their direction. Control over their identity. Control over their emotional reactions. Control over their financial choices. And the moment you gain control, you stop living on autopilot. You stop repeating old patterns. You stop reacting to pressure. You stop drifting. You start designing. And that is the real secret. The rich aren't lucky. They're intentional. They aren't gifted. They're deliberate. They don't have superhuman discipline. They have superhuman clarity. The daily habit that separates the rich from everyone else is simple. They think before the world thinks for them. They lead their mind before their mind leads them. They choose their day before the day consumes them. They create their life instead of reacting to it. That is the habit available to everyone but used by almost no one. And the moment you adopt it, consistently, deliberately, relentlessly, everything in your life begins to shift. Your choices sharpen, your focus strengthens, your stress decreases, your discipline increases, your opportunities expand, your confidence rises, your productivity multiplies, your future opens. Thinking proactively is the gateway habit, the one that makes all other habits possible. Most people want the life of the wealthy but don't want the thinking that creates it. They want the results but not the mindset. They want the freedom but not the foundation. But the truth is, wealth begins in the mind long before it appears in the world. and your future begins the moment you decide to think like the wealthy think, before the day begins, before stress appears, before distractions invade, before emotion takes over. This one habit is not glamorous, not exciting, not dramatic, but it is the quiet force behind every wealthy person you admire. It's the difference between a life you inherit from your impulses and a life you design with intention. Wealth is built by thinkers before it is built by doers, and thinkers begin each day the same way, by choosing their mindset intentionally.